So, hello everybody. Another week has gone by, and here is your compilation of knuckleheads in Massachusetts. We had some really good weather this week, so I was able to ride the motorcycle every day. And being this time of year, a lot of people aren't expecting to see motorcycles on the road, so we get an extra dose of knuckleheads on the roads that aren't paying attention. This is one of my favorite intersections because hardly anybody ever stops for this stop sign unless there's traffic coming from the side. And as you can see, there goes one right there. Just drove right through, no slowing down. This guy just kind of rolls, keeps rolling, and just goes. Didn't stop at all. Oh, this one was good. This was Monday morning. I'm not too far from work. And I love it because there's cops all along the road here for this work detail going on. And this is a very dangerous intersection, and that guy just runs a stop sign, cuts me right off. Again, the camera that I have, because of the way the lens is, it really doesn't look as close as it really is in reality. I get going down the route here. This is a 45 mile an hour zone. I'm coming down. And I look, and this truck is coming. He doesn't want to go. He doesn't want to stop for me. In fact, he blows his horn at me because I didn't slow down. Well, I'm sorry. I'm on the main road. I'm already at speed. Why do I need to slow down because you want to pull your rig out in front of me? And you can see, look how far out the nose of this truck is. You know, if I was in a car and I had to pull over, what if there's somebody coming the other direction, you know? And the thing with Massachusetts is if that situation happened and I stopped, he would have gone, thinking that it was alright for him to go. Now if you look through this intersection, I'm about to turn left up here at this light. The oncoming truck ran the red light right here. And I looked in his window. He's got two little kids in car seats in the back seat. Now it's a 30 mile an hour zone, and that's what I'm doing. Look how fast he is pulling away. I was blown away. I don't know how big a hurry this guy was in or what was going on in his life, but to run a red light and to speed off like this with little kids in the back seat, it just leaves me shaking my head. I don't understand what's wrong with people sometimes. You know, is it worth getting to where you need to be that fast when you got your kids in the back seat? So, I mean, look at the video. He's long gone. He just took off. So I didn't even get a chance to read the plate number off to turn him in if I needed to. All right, so here's the first night, Monday night. You know, it's only 5 o'clock and it's dark, so it's tough. And I come around this corner, and this guy's in his car. He's backing out, and he was gonna go. If I had slowed down, he probably would have pulled right out in front of me. But he's already into the other lane. And I guess I annoyed him because, as you see, we'll do a time shift here. I'll be going further up the road. And if you check my mirror, he raced right up and was tailgating me all the way up to the intersection. Apparently, me not letting him back out in front of me made him angry. I don't know. So anyway, I try to do these narrations on my videos in one take so that I don't have to keep re-recording things over. So you're getting it raw as I do it, and if I make a mistake or say something incorrect, I apologize. But I do appreciate the feedback I received on my last narrated video, and it does make it a lot easier than sitting there and adding captions to the clips as I do them. So I appreciate that feedback. If you have any other ideas or other stuff that you might like to see, here's another one. I'm coming up the road. This is a 45 mile an hour zone. I'm already up to speed, and this car, she just runs right out in front of me. Doesn't want to wait for the other oncoming cars. That's the problem. I get so very impatient. And again, you know, it's nighttime. They're not expecting a motorcycle, so it's very possible she didn't even see me. But anyway, coming up here, I'm going to be making this left-hand turn. And I call this person Mr. Nice Guy because instead of going like they're supposed to, they stop and let the car out on the side. But if you have a line of cars behind you, you don't just stop and let people out to go. You know, the traffic moves along pretty smoothly if you just follow the rules of the road. This car here is going to turn right up ahead, but you watch, they don't even signal to the very last second. It doesn't give me much time to slow down or react or anything. They just hit the brakes and then they flip the switch for the signal light. I'm sorry, if you're slamming your brakes on, I don't know what you're doing. This was a good intersection too. This is the one that I get a lot of action at. For some reason, one of the cars in the line in front of me decided they need to do a U-turn. So they pull over. You see them pull over here into the side street, and they didn't quite make a full U-turn, so throw it in reverse and back up. Well, I'm sorry, there are two cars coming, and what are you doing? Practically backing up right into their lane of traffic. Granted, they did manage to get over and stop, but still, the thought process that goes into some of these moves makes me really shake my head in wonder. Alright, so, again, it's nighttime, people aren't expecting motorcycles, but I have a particular problem with my bike. My bike's very tall. It's a dual sport touring bike, and it's tall, so my headlights are higher than probably most sport bikes, and I think it shines in cars' mirrors, and they, for whatever reason, think I'm riding with my high beams on. So I had this happen to me twice this week, where in the evening as I was riding home, I'd get up behind the car, and we were doing 45 miles an hour, and then the car in front of me just slows way down, and I don't know if I'm just annoying them or if my lights are blinding them. Either way, there's no reason to go from 45 miles an hour down to 35. And then this particular car that we're looking at here, every time we would get to a passing zone, he would speed up so that I could not get by. So I know he was messing with me on purpose, but for what reason I'm not quite sure. And I followed him for at least 5 miles, and he kept doing that. Every time we'd get a broken line where I could pass, you can see it here, is a broken line, he sped up. I'm not as close to him anymore because he took off. So I time jump ahead here. Now we're coming through a town, back to that same left turn where Mr. Nice Guy stopped to let that other guy out. This car, because they're still mad at me, he's going to make a right-hand turn. You see him signal. And then just before he makes the turn, he brake checks me. He slows way down and almost stopped right there in the lane and then made his turn. It's like, gee, thanks. I think I blew my horn at him. But, I understand my lights might be a little bit bright, but, flip the switch on your mirror and dim it if you don't have an auto-dimming mirror. Alright, back into one of my favorite intersections. This was early morning. And watch as I make my right-hand turn here at this light, the car on the other side that wants to go left just goes. It's like, hey, I'm here. Do you not see the guy on the motorcycle? But this is what you get every day. And then we get the cavalcade of stop sign runners. Just drive through. Don't slow down. Don't even touch your brakes. Just go right on through. It's annoying. So I shame them the best I can by putting them on YouTube. It really is therapy for me, because otherwise I would just get angry while I'm riding, and that's no reason to get angry when it's the first week of November and you're still riding a motorcycle. You see those two pickup trucks just kind of roll through the stop sign. This one comes rolling up right over the stop line. I didn't know what she was going to do. And then she starts waving her arm at me to go, like I did something wrong or was annoying her. Back in the evening here, these two cars ahead of me are going to run the stop sign. Oh, there's my caption. Thanks so much for telling us. I do sometimes have to add these captions just to keep my mind refreshed as to what happened each day. I build up these clips for the entire week and then put them all together at the end. Another stop sign. It's the second car that's turning right. They're supposed to move up to the line and stop, but I guess he assumed he had already stopped for the car in front of him and didn't need to stop it the second time. A couple more stop sign runners up here. Let me know. I mean, to me, I need to put these up there. It helps me to feel better about the stuff that I run into during the week. But if you don't want to see me filming stop sign runners, and you just want the good stuff, fine. I find that if I get a really good one where someone does something really stupid or there's a near accident, I put those up as separate clips just so that we have them. This guy doesn't signal his right-hand turn. Well, it's not a guy, it's a girl. And I took a look to see what she was up to. Her hand was up to the side of her head. I just assumed she was on the phone and couldn't be bothered to hit her signal light. Here, you watched, they have a green arrow on the right side there. The red car goes through. Then you watch my light turns green, and this guy goes through. So the red car in front of me right now, he ran his red light. But, you get the excuse I went right on red, even though I'm getting a green light and I'm supposed to go. Same car here. He almost gets into an accident here. Because he's going to go straight. I'm turning right. And if you watch, the car pulls out in front of him. He hits the brakes. So that car right there on the left pulled right out in front of the guy. And the problem is at this intersection, most people go right. So the car assumed this guy was turning right even though he didn't signal. And so just pulls out. The guy's got to jam on his brakes to avoid running into the side of that car. Just stupid. Take an extra second to wait. But this is the same intersection that I always see cars running the stop sign in the morning, so it just goes to show that even in the evening, knuckleheads are running that stop sign, even with cars coming. A couple good ones here as I stop for this red light at this intersection. I see the guy right there. This crazy nut wants to turn left. Car's coming. Finally, she gets sick of waiting, and she goes and completely cuts off this other car right here. I slowed it down a little bit so you can see just how close it was. It's stupid. I mean, you can wait. The rules of the road say if you get out underneath the light, even if it turns red, you can still go. That's legal. Instead, they get impatient and they just go. This intersection was busy on this particular night, so we get a bunch of other left-hand turners here. Now this pickup truck, for whatever reason, slows way down as he crosses over the crosswalk here, and the Mustang's not paying attention and runs right up and almost hits him. They slam the brakes on. So, I get to see some interesting things. This was the intersection that I did see the fender bender in the one day. And I was actually in a head-on collision on this street once after pulling through that intersection. A little old lady decided she didn't want to wait for the red light and pulled into my lane and ran right into me. That guy up there just ran the stop sign. Coming back through this intersection again. See Superman over there. That's why I was looking over there. They got a dummy dressed up like Superman. But I come through here. Look how far over the line she is. She's right out almost into the intersection. I've almost hit cars there that do that. They pull out and then they decide they'll stop, but by then they're already in the intersection. This car, they cut the corner pretty good. Just drive over the yellow line. And she's going to make a left-hand turn into this eye doctor's here on the left. Just crazy. I don't know why she cut that corner, but that's why I included that clip. Get a little doggy there on the side of the street, and this guy just rolls through the stop sign. You got the garbage truck, he's going to stop right there. He rolls through this stop sign too, He rolled through those two stop signs. It's like an obstacle course through here sometimes. Alright, so we get this red car here. Pulls out in front of me. And again, I think this is another one of those instances where my headlights were bothering somebody. Watch him cut the corner here. He drives right over the yellow line. It don't matter that there's a car coming. I'm moving over into that lane. I think they were nervous about all the cars parked on the side of the street, but for crying out loud, you can stay in the lane. Kept hitting their brakes a lot, and that's why I think that my headlights are bothering them. But there's not much I can do. I'm on low beam. Sometimes if I know that that's what's going on, I'll flash my high beams so that they understand that I'm not trying to blind them. A lot of times that doesn't help. The great part about this guy got mad at me, and up here we're going to make a left-hand turn. He goes into the left-hand turn, and then he almost stops, and I almost ran right into the back of him because he stopped sharp because he's mad at me. So I see him pumping his brakes, and he makes the turn here. I go into my turn, and then he almost stops. I give him the horn. I did blow the horn at him there. I should have flashed my lights at that point. Maybe it would have diffused the situation a little bit better. But no reason to drive like this. I mean, if my lights are bothering you that bad, pull over and I'll go around you. And then you can blind me with yours. Whatever makes you happy. I just want to get home safe and sound. He's just pumping the brakes, constantly flashing his brake lights at me. I'm not tailgating him. I'm not doing anything that would be provocative to him. But I think, these drivers, once you get under their skin, they just, they can't help themselves. And then he just kind of rolls through the stop sign, trying to get away from me. Which he did. I mean, this guy turns left in front of me. He gets a pretty good gap, and then he just turns off up ahead. But it's like, just have a good night, buddy. I'm not trying to bother you. Finally some nice sunshine again. So I put this in here. You see the bicycle riding down that side. It's not law, but it's common sense, and it's kind of a rule that bicycles are supposed to travel with you in the same direction of travel that the cars are going in. Once that shoulder disappears, that bike is basically riding in oncoming traffic, which is dangerous. The dark gray car just rolls through the stop sign. This guy just rolls up, and he would have went. You see how far over the line he went. Had that car not been coming, he'd have gone. Alright, so now, right here I'm in my car now. So I'm out traveling in my car. I'm going past the school here. It's a football game, but look how far that guy is out into my lane, trying to make a left-hand turn. Nuts. And for the final part of this clip, if you watch closely as I move into the center lane, I'm going about 65 miles an hour when a bunny rabbit runs out right in front of me. You'll see him jump up in the air right there. He hopped pretty high, straight up. But I managed to move over. The problem is there's a Jersey barrier over there on the left, and I don't know if the little fella made it back to the other side of the road safely or not. But thanks again for watching. Have a great weekend, and hopefully nothing major will happen next week. Take care.